Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am actually both humbled and honored to speak on an issue that is not just shaping our industries, businesses, economies, but it's also defining the ethos of our time. Particularly, I wish to shed light on the myriad of opportunities these challenges present to small and medium-scale enterprises, SMEs. This is a great time and opportunity to have this discussion before the dust of the just concluded African Climate Summit 23 settles, as was mentioned by my dear friend, Mr. John Elungata. As the regional CEO for UBA, Eastern Southern Africa, a leading commercial bank with a presence in 20 African countries, including the United States, the UK, France, the UAE, I recognize the vital role that SMEs play in driving economic growth, job creation, and innovation. Moreover, I actually understand the significance of addressing climate change and fostering sustainability in today's world. Climate change is not just an environmental issue. It is a global challenge that affects economies, societies, and businesses at all levels. Therefore, it is imperative that we explore how SMEs can not only adapt to climate change, but also seize opportunities for growth and development through sustainable initiatives and business models. But before we delve into climate change sustainability and the role of SMEs, let me just briefly just acknowledge the gravity of the climate change challenge which faces all of us. The scientific consensus is clear. Our planet is warming at unprecedented rates due to human activities. This warming is causing more frequent and severe weather events, threatening ecosystems, and endangering livelihoods of millions. The urgency of mitigating climate change and building resilience cannot be overstated. However, this also poses opportunities because we hear that in addressing climate change in Africa, this presents a 3 trillion economic investment opportunity in Africa between now and 2030. We all agree that SMEs are the backbone of the world economy, accounting for most businesses in nearly every region. In the developing world, SMEs make up to 90% of the private sector and create more than 50% of jobs in their corresponding economies. In Africa, SMEs provide an estimated 80% of jobs across the continent, representing an important driver for economic growth. Sub-Saharan Africa alone has 44 million micro, small, and medium enterprises, almost all of which are micro. For these businesses to grow, create more jobs, and generate economic growth, they need access to capital, especially when faced with climate change-related risks, which pose additional threats, from supply chain disruption to increased operating costs. The private sector in Africa is critical to adapting to as well as mitigating climate change. This is especially true for SMEs, given that they make up a significant part of the continent's private sector. It is therefore critical that incentivization exists for SMEs to function in a sustainable manner to achieve green growth. African SMEs, unfortunately, lack access to financing, which often forces them to behave in ways that are not sustainable. It is harder for SMEs focused on sustainability and green business to gain financial support because they are typically higher upfront costs, and the markets in Africa are still underdeveloped. Green technology is expensive because it is newer and comes with many costs. But this is where I believe the likes of UBA banks, the government, and other DFIs come into play. So it is therefore important to find ways for SMEs to access affordable financial support in order to build more climate-resilient businesses and business models. This involves assessing vulnerabilities, developing adaptation strategies, and ensuring the resilience of supply chains and the operations. Collaborative efforts with industry peers, government agencies, and international organizations, the USAID, for instance, facilitate access to knowledge, resources, and support in this regard. So, how can SMEs turn these challenges into opportunities, I may ask? The current climate crisis demands innovation. It is the SMEs that are perfectly poised to take this mammoth challenge into a plethora of opportunities. Here, I'd like to emphasize that addressing climate change is not just about compliance, as was mentioned by Mr. Lungata. It's also about seizing opportunities. Sustainable practices can lead to cost efficiencies, access to new markets, and enhanced reputation, which can particularly be advantageous for SMEs. And some of these opportunities I'll just mention a few. One, creating sustainable products and services. We'll know that in this present time, consumers globally are increasingly looking for eco-friendly products. African SMEs can carve a niche in producing sustainable goods, tapping into both local and global markets. Two, developing innovative agribusiness models. With the changing weather patterns, there is an urgent need for adaptive agricultural practices. This opens avenues for SMEs in areas like drought-resistant seeds, water-saving irrigation systems, and sustainable farming consultancies. Three, energy efficiency. SMEs can reduce their energy consumption and costs by investing in energy-efficient technologies and processes. This not only lowers their carbon footprint, but also enhances their competitiveness by exploring opportunities in the production, installation, and maintenance of renewable energy technologies such as solar panels, biomass energy systems, etc. So this sector is growing rapidly as governments and businesses aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 4, green financing. Commercial banks like mine, UBA, can play a pivotal role by offering green financing options tailored to SMEs. These loans can support investments in renewable energy, eco-friendly infrastructure, and sustainable supply chain. 5, digital transformation. Embracing digital technology can enable SMEs to optimize their operations, reduce resource consumption, and access global markets more efficiently. And 6, waste management, climate risk assessment, and adaptation. SMEs can provide consultancy services and technology solutions to help businesses and communities assess and adapt to the impact of climate change. This includes developing strategies to minimize waste and reduce environmental impact, manage water scarcity, extreme weather events, and shifting climate conditions. I'd actually like to build on this at this point, as it touches on the core of the Tony Elumelu Foundation's theme for this year's seed capital funding working with UBA to support SMEs in the area of sustainability and climate change resilience. The Tony Elumelu Foundation, for those who don't know, was founded by an African investor, philanthropist, and the chairman of United Bank for Africa, UBA, Mr. Tony Elumelu, as a non-governmental organization aimed at creating prosperity for all through supporting and creating African entrepreneurs. It has thus far funded over 15,000 young entrepreneurs and SMEs across 54 countries in Africa. Since its inception in Kenya in 2015, the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program has disbursed over $3.4 million as seed capital to a total of 684 Kenyan entrepreneurs who fall within the SME space. It has also provided non-financial support such as mentoring, a 12-week management training program, a knowledge resource on the TEF Connect platform, meetups and networking, and finally the annual TEF Entrepreneurship Forum. It is therefore no surprise that the theme for this year's seed funding capital is a resounding call to green entrepreneurs in the waste management sector in Kenya to participate and be part of the Be Green Africa initiative, a first of its kind green entrepreneurship program to address African youth unemployment. The program aims to train 1,000 Kenyan MSMEs in the waste management sector and subsequently economically empower 120 of these entrepreneurs with seed funding capital of $5,000 each to run their businesses. The program targets entrepreneurs under the age of 35 and new or existing green businesses in Kenya. So what is this Be Green initiative, some might ask? The Be Green Africa is a green entrepreneurship pilot program co-created by Mr. Tony Elumelu through the Tony Elumelu Foundation in partnership with UNICEF Generation Unlimited, GenU, and the IKEA Foundation, with the key objective to create a holistic, sustainable, and youth-led green entrepreneurship initiative in the waste sector in Kenya. The initiative aims to strengthen Kenya's path towards sustainable, client-resilient development whilst achieving low carbon emission and aligns with the Sustainable Waste Management Act, responsible for instituting the legal and institutional framework to sustainably and effectively manage waste in Kenya. I therefore encourage all young entrepreneurs and women in entrepreneurship who are gathered here today to check out and interact with the online platform for the Tony Elumelu Foundation to ensure that you did not miss such opportunities now and in the future. But at UBA Bank, we are committed to supporting the growth and development of SMEs across Africa. This is in line with our bank's strategic focus on the SME segment, being a catalyst for economic development of Africa. We therefore have a very pivotal role to play in supporting SMEs in Africa through a number of ways. One, creating the right financial products tailored to SMEs, focusing on sustainability. Right now, we have the CEO for UBA Kenya here in the person of Mr. Chike Siwe. And he and his team have actually developed products that address the needs of SMEs here in Kenya, and I'm sure he will be available to take a few questions after this morning's session. Also, building capacity through workshops, webinars, and training in order to empower SMEs with the knowledge and skills required to navigate the changing landscape. We believe in thought leadership. We believe in educating and empowering SMEs. The Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program, working with UBA, does have programs that are geared towards doing this. And lastly, by investing in research and development to understand the evolving and changing needs of our customers, ensuring that our financial solutions remain relevant. So there's continued interaction with SMEs, understanding what the needs are in the different sectors, in the different business areas here in Kenya and across the length and breadth of Africa. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the twin challenges of sustainability and climate change resilience provide a unique opportunity for SMEs to not only weather the storm, but thrive in a rapidly changing world. Commercial banks such as UBA, GT Bank, government, and academia such as Strathmore University must come together to support SMEs in their sustainability journey. As we move forward, let us remember that sustainability is not just a buzzword. It is a path to prosperity. SMEs that embrace sustainable practices, develop sustainable business models, and adapt to challenges of the climate change will not only survive, but flourish in this new era of business. I therefore encourage all of you to be champions of this cause, to drive innovation, to create a brighter and more sustainable future for Kenya and the world. The narratives of sustainability and climate change resilience are not tales of gloom and doom. They are stories of innovation, of resilience, of community, and above all, opportunities for SMEs in Africa to thrive. It is a clarion call to rise, adapt, and lead the way in crafting a sustainable future for all of us. I would like to finish with two quotes from two distinguished Pan-Africanists. My first quote is from His Excellency President William Ruto, where he said, climate action is not a global north issue or a global south issue. It is our collective challenge as it affects all of us. We need to come together to find common global solutions. My second quote is from Mr. Tony Elumelu, the group chairman, UBA PLC, and it reads, African SMEs are the bedrock of our continent's growth trajectory, driving economic development, job creation, and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the Strathmore Business School for organizing this conference and for inviting me to speak on such an important topic. And I'd like to wish you all a very productive and interactive session over the next 2 days. Thank you.